Previously, several of the strangers who'd come together the day before to fight goblins found themselves having breakfast at the local inn. Zarakir made his way through the majority of the inn's stock of food as he, Eversong, Adria, and August talked a bit and slowly got to know each other, since it looked like they were going to be working together for a while at least. While Zarakir discovered the wonders of coffee, Eversong went back up to the room she shared with Tyr and emotionally blackmailed him quite well into coming down and properly meeting the others. Once breakfast was finished, the group headed to the forge to see if Isaac was there, and, more importantly, if he had decided to take the mayor up on his job offer as they had. Isaac was in the middle of a project, but he left with the group once he was at a proper stopping point. Around that point, they realized that none of them had seen Kess, so they backtracked to the brothel to look for them. Zarakir was nominated to go in and ask for them, but Madame Waterfall told him that they'd left earlier. Not seeing any signs of them, the group headed to the mayor's house, which also doubled as his office, only to find Kess waiting for them. The group all agreed to go on retainer to help with any issues that came up in the town, at which point the mayor admitted that there was already something going on, mainly that bodies had been disappearing from the local cemetery recently. The current count was 4. The first body to disappear had been buried for over 20 years, but the more recent ones were fresher, so to speak. They all headed to the graveyard, with Eversong and Tyr falling back a bit as they walked. Eversong was clearly panicking about the situation, but Tyr calmed her down and told her that he'd protect her. Once they reached the graveyard, Philip, the custodian of it, talked with Isaac and gave him some information. The others walked around to explore the empty graves. While the bodies had been taken, any belongings they had been buried with were left behind, which seemed to imply that it was more than just thievery. Isaac noticed signs of someone climbing over the fence that surrounded the graveyard, and a highly caffeinated Zarakir picked up Kess and dropped them over on the other side to investigate. They found some tracks. Meanwhile, Tyr found signs of magical residue that implied someone had used transmutation magic to remove the bodies from their graves. The group followed the physical and magical tracks to the road, where it appeared that a cart had previously been parked. The trail disappeared there, but they were fairly certain it was headed back into town. Based on the amount of time it took them to walk from the graveyard to the road, Tyr was able to narrow down the possible spells that could have been used. He suspected that the grave robber had used levitate. The group then decided to split up. Eversong and Tyr would try to find signs of any carts with magical residue on them. Adria, August, and Isaac would talk to the local carpenter to see if they could find any information about who might own a cart like the one used. Kess and Zarakir would head to the brothel to talk to the madam and see if she could tell them any gossip or rumors about stolen carts, strangers in town, or anything else that could be useful. And that is where we left off.